Bandhanadi yoga. What does bandhana mean?
Bandha.
Bandhana means bondage. Okay? Restricted bondage, etc. We'll be dealing with re-bondage yoga. Paschat, Ripu, Bhagyayor, Grahasamyam, Bandha Konayo, Rogajayayo, Kita Yugmayo, Darari Fayoscha. Obviously, these are all based on Katapayadi Varga, all these names here. Otherwise, you would say something like Kita Yugma could mean Scorpio and Gemini, which is not the case here. Now, reckon from Lagna or Aruda Lagna or Atmakaraka if equal number of planets are in any of the following pairs of houses, 2nd and 12th, 5th and 9th, 8th and 6th, 3rd and 11th, or 4th and 10th. Bandhana yoga is caused. There's a parenthesis which says arrest, seizure, or imprisonment, which is in the extreme cases. Yes?
There was yesterday we had this chart with a guru of Swami Vivekananda.
Yes.
He had all the very symmetrical chart
Yes.
having this yoga.
Yes, yes. So let's see. Jupiter was in 5th and Saturn was in 9th.
Yes.
Rahu was in 4th, Ketu in 10th.
10th,
Yes.
and Mars and
Venus and Mars in 2nd and 12th. Correct. He barely left his ashram. Barely left. The pairs are based on Argala and Virod Argala. That is intervention and obstruction. If the intervention and its obstruction are of equal strength, the results are neither success nor failure. And seizure results, that is a stalemate. If both planets are malefics, this shows imprisonment, while benefics cause house arrest, etc. So this means if benefics are there, you are comfortable in your own home. You're comfortable in your own place. It is like a pillows on both sides. Okay? Whereas malefics cause an inauspicious circumstance. This need not be distinctly in matters of your actual physical circumstances. It can also be in the form of financial circumstance. Like financial bondage can come, especially in 2nd and 12th house. You should be looking for bondage of the soul from Atmakaraka. And when we speak of bondage of the soul, it means the soul is not able to move anywhere. The soul is not able to travel. This implies also that the person is not able to do what they are required to do. Therefore, we are very interested in the Atmakaraka because it is the one which causes you to be, for example, imprisoned. Physical bondage where the soul is not able to move. Whereas from the Lagna, it can be bondage on the mind because the mind and body are not able to act in the way it wants to. It cannot get the food it wants. Okay? Therefore, observe carefully in malefics from the Lagna to see if life itself has become difficult. From Atmakaraka to see if the person will be imprisoned or not. Of which, of course, the various bondages are, of course, of the nature of the houses. 2nd and 12th, food bondage, money bondage. 5th and 9th, we could infer that this is career bondage, because a lot of the 5th and 9th house activities deal with whether you're able to make something for your future or not. 8th and 6th, health bondage, disease bondage. 3rd and 11th would be more appropriately, how to say, it's bondage in the form of whether you were able to attain something you wanted or not. Okay? For example, you were expecting some money from somebody, court case result, expecting somebody to give you something, paycheck, 3rd, 11th bondage. Finally, 4th and 10th bondage, it's work bondage. Like you're forced to do some type of work. You may not want to do that work. Another dilemma is that when these are mutual, equal grahas, it means it's neither one or the other which is exactly pushing you in one direction. That means that you cannot make a decision also. You have one foot in both camps, as we say. You cannot make a decision. So sometimes this can be very problematic, especially from Lagna, because the person doesn't know what to do, which side to take. Then it is better that you have two malefics in one and one benefic in the other, so at least you'll make a decision. But this puts you in a doubtful situation. You cannot make a decision. Paschat implies Lagna and could include Arudha Lagna and Atmakaraka. If the Bandhana Yoga is from Lagna, the person is physically imprisoned or physically obstructed. It need not be prison, but it certainly is obstruction. If from Arudha Lagna, his rise and image suffer a setback, while from Atmakaraka, bondage of the soul results in and spiritual growth is obstructed or stunted. From Arudha Lagna, it's more appropriate to say society is the one who's not helping you. From Karaka Lagna, it is something the soul has to undergo or experience. In these bandhana houses, the Viro Argala house is the cause of bondage. So for example, among 2nd and 12th, 12th is the bondage. 5th and 9th, 9th is bondage. 8th and 6th, 6th is bondage. 3rd and 11th, 3rd is bondage. 4th and 10th, 10th is bondage. And down here we have the actual Katapayadi work. Some works give a different name. Instead of what is it? Rifa Jayayo, isn't it? Rifa Jayayo, where do we get that? No, Roga Jayayo. Some would say Ripu Jayayo instead, meaning 12th and 6th instead of 8th and 6th. But obviously if you know Katapayadi, you know that may be wrong. I mean, sorry, not Katapayadi, but Argala. So let's see an example of Aurobindo. You see this chart? One side. Okay, there you go. Atma Karaka is in Leo. 12th from it has the bondage yoga. There's no planet in 2nd therefrom. See that?
Yes.
From the Atma Karaka, nothing is in 2nd therefrom. So, when I said that it's really the Viro Argala house which is causing bondage, you just need planets in the Viro Argala house to cause some type of bondage. It need not be in both houses. Both houses means indecision. One house means some type of obstruction. You are forced to do something, forced to undergo something, forced to experience something. There are no grahas here in Virgo. But this is the remedy for the 12th. See, this is remedies now we're getting into. This is very, very important. See, you have a bondage situation. And you want to overcome the bondage situation. Some grahas are pulling you in one direction and you want to go in the other. So, remedy. Virgo. Virgo is the remedy for this problem here. Alright? Because here is Atma Karaka, we need to make Virgo strong.
That's Argala.
So, which remedy will you advise for Virgo? Vishnu, because of Mercury, correct? Yes? So, it could be any form of Vishnu, based on Mercury's placement. It's
Yes.
Drakana. So, he worshipped Krishna and he got out of jail. He worshipped Krishna and
Can
got
we say this is a semi-Virodhargana?
semi.
Because there is no grahas in the 2nd time.
This is complete Virodhargana.
Complete.
Complete. Because there are grahas here, no grahas here. See that? See that? From Atmakaraka, grahas are here, no grahas here. So this is only going to obstruct.
So where's the physical bondage?
Atmakaraka, 12th from Atmakaraka can cause physical bondage if no fix it there.
Only one.
Remember we discussed that.
Mm.
Atma Bandhana. So,
What
Good.
kind of physical bondage is this?
he went to jail.
Due to the malefic. If it was
Mars
benefic,
there.
then it would have been different.
Mars is there and debilitated. So in very severe physical bondage. For 1 year he was in jail, then he went out. Jupiter will help him in jail. It will help him. Okay? So, let us say you have such a scenario. You have grahas in 12th from Atmakaraka, and you don't want to be bound by those grahas. You must worship the devata of your second house from Atmakaraka, and you will come out of bondage.
But we did remedy exactly the 12th house from the Atmakaraka before.
Mhm.
What this is for what? No?
This is the exact form in which will take you out of the real bondage. The bondage which is X outside. See, what is he doing? He has a graha here. Jupiter. Jupiter will help him in jail to be free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But it's causing a new type of bondage, which is just like pillow bondage. Jupiter's pillow bondage, right?
What is this? No.
Pillow bondage means the pillow you sleep on.
Hmm.
So it is comfortable bondage.
Mm.
Nice bondage. Like sitting in an ashram all day and chanting mantras. That's Jupiter. You see that? It is nice bondage. It's benefic. Nice. It causes a type of freedom. A type of freedom.
For Jupiter. Without Jupiter.
Yes. But imagine if there was no Jupiter here. He would not be released from jail. Then what do? Still the remedy is the same. Go to second house from Atmakaraka.
Yeah.
Find the devata of that. Strengthen that. The person can come out. You wouldn't imagine what you can do with this. Because people are really stuck because of Virod Argala. Especially when there's no other graha in the other sign. Because that's the dilemma. Because Virod Argala can take over if there was another planet in the other sign. And dominate the life, make life nicer, easier.
So you're saying if there was one benefit in Virgo and
Yes.
one benefit in Cancer, Virgo will dominate? If there was one benefit in Virgo
No,
and one benefit
then
in
there would
Cancer.
still be stalemate. You need two benefics, for example.
Okay, and
In
what
what?
should you do in that instance? Should you still worship the benefit in Virgo as opposed to the one in Cancer?
You must judge if the person should do that, right?
Right.
So if he goes to jail, of course you should. Okay?
Okay.
So imagine if there's a case. Visti Larsen has Rahu in 9th house from Lagna. And there's nothing in 5th house from Lagna. So what's that Rahu going to do? He's going to take over his life. It's going to cause Virod Argala. So what must Visti do? He must strengthen his 5th house. There are no grahas in 5th house. So take the Lord Jupiter in this case. So he does Guru Mantra. If he does Guru Mantra, the 9th house will reduce its influence on him and 5th house will be stronger. Life starts, future starts. What is 9th house bondage? Education bondage. With Rahu over there, Visti will start and stop educations.
But you
Because of which,
you finished.
eventually, I stopped one. Actually, I stopped two, to be exact. I stopped 2 educations. Prematurely. 9th house is very important for education because your entire career will depend on 9th house. Your entire material career depends on 9th house. If 9th house is malefic, then the career stops. 9th house gets benefic, career starts. So, how to overcome that? Visti worship, Guru. After he did Guru mantras and Guru worship, he went back and finished his education.
After Jyotish started,
Yes.
you finished your education.
After I did Guru mantra specifically. Even after I did Jyotish, I was not going back to study. As soon as I did Guru mantras, and I started and really continued.
So how did you find the Guru mantra before Jyotish?
I didn't get a Guru mantra before Jyotish. I learned Jyotish,
Then
and whilst learning Jyotish, I was not interested in studying.
Yeah.
And whilst doing Jyotish, I had left my studies also. Then I got a Guru Mantra, and then I went back and finished my studies.
Hmm.
12th house need not always be bad bondage. 12th house can be very good bondage. But that has to be 12th house from Lagna. Why can it be good bondage? Marriage. So, don't always see 12th house as bad. From Lagna. From Atmakaraka, it's still problematic. Because it doesn't indicate marriage. 12th house from Lagna indicates marriage. So, if two benefics are in 12th house from Lagna, do not remove that obstruction. It's a very, very nice marriage. Good bandhana.
3.
Evam rikshanam
Evam
Rikshanam
tadishanam
Tadishanam
chashubha
Chashubha
sambandho
Sambandho
nirodha
Nirodha
matra papa
Matra Papa
sambandhat
Sambandhat
shrinkhala
Shrinkala
praharadaya.
Praharadaya.
Translation. If benefics aspect the bandhana yoga, the troubles are temporary, while malefics aspect indicate punishment, like beating with chains and so on, is what he's saying here. There's actually something hidden in this sutra, which I'll reveal. It wasn't revealed to us initially. See this word prahara? This prahara actually refers to a time in the day. Okay? Prahara. This is the remedy. You're going to learn prahara soon. There are eight praharas in the day. You calculate from one sunrise to, I think it is, yes. From sunrise to sunset, you divide by 8. And from sunset to next sunrise, you divide by 8. And you will get prahara. No, sorry, by 4, not by 8. And based on this, you can know which form of Shiva is taking you out of bondage. Hara refers to Shiva. Prahara, the one who prevents the negative. Shiva who prevents the negative. Okay. Now we saw an example of this with malefics in the case of Aurobindo, the last example. Mars was in 12th house from Atmakaraka. Therefore, we expect negative results. Jupiter is also there. It can be very good results. It is temporary because malefics are there as associated with benefics. So therefore, he did not stay there all the time. It was not permanent jail time. It was not for a whole dasha. It was just for 1 year. And that too, he was in confinement. He was not convicted, awaiting trial. This also is a means for you to understand the way in which you will avoid troubles if you are imprisoned. Somebody comes to you, a client. They might be going to jail. You have to advise them what they're going to do whilst they're in jail to avoid punishment, severe punishment. Find the benefics associated with the 12th house from Atmakaraka and Rashi. Advise strengthening those benefics through activities, even mantras. And whilst they're in jail, they will have a good time. They will also be able to minimize their jail sentence, to come out quickly. And hopefully in the meantime, they've become spiritual due to the mantras. Okay? So you can give remedies for people who have to go into bondage. Okay? Now, which other types of bondage can be physical? Health, correct? So, malefics associated with 12th house from Atmakaraka can give health problems as bondage. They need not take you to jail. And in such a scenario, you strengthen the benefics associating, because if you do that, then that time which is spent is easier. It's nicer.
But is there a danger to taking their karma by giving to some mantra?
Only if you pray on their behalf. What should you give them? Prasiddha mantra. You give them Prasiddha mantra. Okay?
but we don't know their background. For example, someone came you don't know.
So you read the chart, right?
Read the chart,
Yes. So you know their background if you read the chart.
but I don't know.
Why did they go to that place? How come? Which things were associated? Email Visti saying, "Come, I don't know if I should give this person a mantra. What do you think?" You know, it's important stuff. You should read this in the chart. Draw prashna. Should you really give it to them? See fourth house, first house. Malefics there, don't touch. Don't even give them. We did that earlier? In the prashna, first to fourth house malefics. Reconsider.
No. No.
Reconsider. Tell them first to clean their heart. There's something hidden in this also. How a person should behave and act in such a circumstance, any type of bondage. You can help them with based on understanding the four niti. What are the niti? Sama, Dama, or is it Dana? Dana, right? Danda, Veda. Sama, Dama, Danda, Veda. Sama, Dana, Danda, Veda. Right? Sama, Jupiter and Moon. Tell the person to seek compromises with others. Speak nicely. That will help them during their problems. Jupiter and Moon, seek compromise. It's not written here. That'll help them.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, Jupiter and Moon. If they associate with 12th house from Atmakaraka, tell the person to seek compromises to overcome the problems.
Compromising.
Compromise
It's like.
means make an agreement. You give a little, they give a little. Compromise. Dana, Venus and Mercury. You must give them something, bribe them in some way. Okay? If it's Mercury, they want money. If it's Venus, they want you to give them a good reputation. You know? Like do some advertising on their behalf. That can be like going to somebody and saying, you should definitely invest in this person because they're very nice and this and that. You know? Helping them get popular somehow. That's Venus, sorry. It could even involve some type of relationship, whether it is you getting involved in that or somebody else. That's what it indicates. For example, some men who go to jail, or women for that matter, because of planets in 12th house from Atmakaraka, they find themselves in a very poor position. So to seek protection there, let's say Venus associates, so they get a boyfriend or girlfriend in jail. You see that? That is what happens. Unfortunately. And because they did that, they're protected. They do this. You have to admit it to yourself, they do this. I don't know how you'll advise that though. I really don't. I mean, what to do with such a scenario? You see that jail combination, you see only Venus associate. Okay. You know? Okay. So there was Dana, bribe. Danda, Mars and Sun and Ketu. Not so much Ketu, Mars and Sun. If you have these associating, you will be forced to have to use physical force. Punish the other person. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. That's right. Yeah. Finally, Saturn and Rahu. You must use strategy. Strategy means divide and conquer. Strategy more or less involves causing fear or horror in the other person. Making them scared to do something. Now, knowing this, choose the highest benefic influence first. If you have Jupiter or Moon, use them. Just their aspect, use them. You're lucky. If not Jupiter, Moon, look for Venus, Mercury. If not Venus, Mercury, then you have to succumb to Mars, Sun, or to Saturn, Rahu. Okay?
Is it for sure situation?
That
Every 12th house malefic cause the person to go to jail.
not jail necessarily. It can also be physical bondage. Like I have many cases where accidents cause physical bondage because they have to be sit in their home or in their bed for maybe 6 months, 1 year. Okay, that can also be physical bondage. Like your body cannot move because of an accident, for example. For jail, I also look at 12th house from Lagna.
A malefic also should be there.
The bandhana it's associated with 12th house from Atma Karaka must somehow be linked to 12th house from Lagna.
In Aurobindo situation,
Let's see.
where is this
No.
link?
Let's see. This is the Atma Karaka placed here. 12th house is this yoga, correct? 12th lord is Mercury join the Atma Karaka.
Just Mercury, Vishnu. Help him. Third house and
Even the 12th lord from Atma Karaka is moon aspect to his 12th house. Yeah. Let's see. What would you advise him in jail? You would advise Jupiter, compromise. Right? 12th house from Atma Karaka has Jupiter. Seek compromise with people in jail. The guards were very nice to Aurobindo in jail. Very nice. Because he always spoke nicely to them. He treated them very nicely. So they treated him very nicely. That meant no physical torture, no beating, nothing. Just treated nicely. But otherwise, you see, Mars is here, aspected by Ketu, aspected by Rahu. Not an easy circumstance he went into. And the Lord is joined a malefic Saturn. Bondage was not easy. Planets and signs influencing the Bandhana Yoga determine the circumstances and nature of the Bandhana. Jupiter causes self-imposed restrictions like Samadhi, Mauna Vrata, and so on. Venus indicates that the native may flee or escape imprisonment. So, when Venus is associated with 12th house of Atma Karaka, there's a strong chance they may escape. Why? Venus gets exalted in Pisces, the house of freedom, or sign of freedom. Saturn and Rahu show physical seclusion and beating, etc. Medieval torture knew no bounds. Even today, prisoners are often given a shabby treatment. The nature of planets aspecting shows the torture. Mars shows the use of fire and danger. Saturn indicates elongated periods of pains. Rahu shows the use of mixtures, chemicals, and ingenious torture machines, etc. So when you get the cases of all these Guantanamo Bay fellows, then you know what to look for. Okay? Yes, we astrologers get around.
So, for example, if the person's lying in bed some months because of physical bondage,
Yeah, then we look for Saturn for sure.
do we give it the remedies again the second of the Atma Karaka?
Yes. That, and then you also give a remedy for 12th house Atma Karaka if there's a benefic, to make it easier whilst they're in bondage.
For example, no benefit. Second house of the sun.
Always second house. See, look at this. From here, the Atma Karaka, this is going to release him from bondage. This benefic here is just going to make the bondage easier. Like what did he do in jail? He was meditating all the time. See that? This benefic will not take him really out per se. It'll just make it easier whilst in jail. This Mercury is the means to get out. Krishna takes him out. What do you advise? If you're going to meditate, meditate on Krishna. No. You get out. See that?
But some time passed, isn't it? Not
In his case,
immediate.
1 year, but he had a very nice time there. He was looking forward to get back to his cell so he could go into Samadhi Yoga with Krishna. Shukrada,
Shukrada,
Gauna,
Gauna,
Padasto,
Padasto,
Rahu,
Rahu,
Surya,
Surya,
Drishto,
Drishta,
Netraha.
Netraha.
Venus and Gaunapada, aspected or conjoined by Rahu and the Sun, causes blindness. Oh, this is a different type of bandhana. Various options of Venus, Sun and Rahu will cause this yoga, this situation. What is Gaunapada? Exactly. Now, this is a difficult stanza. Shukra could also mean Lagna, if we do the Katapayadi of Shukra. And Gauna could mean 5th house. Thus, Gauna has been interpreted by some astrologers as the mantra aruda. That means Gaunapada, mantra aruda, because it's the 5th aruda you'd infer, based on Katapayadi Varga. Or the aruda of the 5th house, while others interpret this as the 5th house from aruda lagna. Popularly, Gaunapada means upapada, or the aruda of the 12th house. This is what we know it as popularly. Jaimini has used the names of planets, and Shukra implies Venus, as Gaunapada refers to Upapada. There are 2 conditions given in this stanza. Venus should be conjoined or aspected by Rahu. Why? Venus indicates the eyeball, the physical eye, and Rahu is indicating dryness and problems in that eye. The main problem with the eye is that it has to always have a lot of liquids around it, lubrication if you may. And the dryness to Venus causes the eyes to dry up as well. And Upapada should be conjoined or aspected by the Sun. This indicates very weak eyesight. If both conditions are there, that is A and B, blindness is sure to occur. Readers may refer to a few examples at the end of this chapter. Now this chapter he refers to, this is a copy pasted from the book. So, now, what must you understand from this? Whatever is associated with Upapada is what you must give. And this is your first Upapada. You cannot say you must give to the different spouses from every subsequent Upapada. Whatever is associated with your first Upapada is what you must give to the world. You're always giving that to the world. If it is the Sun, you have to give your eyesight. If it's Jupiter, you must listen all the time. If it's Venus, you may have to give a lot of attention. Looking all the time, attention. Mercury, you're asked to speak all the time. Okay? So any graha associated with Upapada shows what you ask, being asked to give all the time to other people. You know why? Because your spouse will require that from you. If your Sun associates with Upapada, your spouse will come and say, look at me, look at me, look at me. Does this look good on me? Does this make me look nice?
Venus, no,
Sun.
Sun.
Sun. Okay?
Visión.
So you're giving that all the time. You have to look at that person all the time. So you're giving your eyesight all the time. Malefics are more problematic when associated with Upapada.
Rahu? You say Rahu?
Huh?
You say Rahu? No.
Rahu.
Rahu.
No, I said Rahu must associate with Venus.
No, only in Upapada.
I didn't talk about that yet.
Ah.
I didn't talk about Rahu and Upapada yet. I'm talking about all malefics now. Malefics don't like to give, right? They don't like to give. They don't give easily. They have conditions associated. So when malefics are associated with the Upapada, you don't like to give that easily. So it will be taken from you. That faculty will be taken from you because you didn't give. Mars, your strength will be taken from you. Saturn, muscles referred to specifically. How do you give your muscles? How is it taken from you? You're forced to do some physical labor. Okay?
Both the planets are exalted, malefics.
That's good. You have more to give. But you must still give. Now, our main concern herein is really Mars and Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus and Moon. That means the benefics and Mars and Sun. These are our main concerns. Because these we want to be sure we're giving properly.
What is the Mars condition?
If Mars is associated with Upapada, then you have to give a lot of your strength all the time. Carry this, carry that, paint the house, reconstruct house, paint the house again, wrong color. Okay?
So what's the difference with Shani and Mars? This is also the same.
Saturn will wear you down. That means you will get old quickly.
Get old quickly.
Yes. Ha. Hey Diego, do you have Mars associated with Upapada?
No, it's for
Your
it's
Upapada
Parivartana.
is in
Libra.
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 So you must just give lots of attention to your spouse.
Yeah,
It's good.
For
And
Venus.
Jupiter aspects, you must listen to her all the time.
Yeah, should be doing.
She talks a lot. Okay. Yes, he has to listen all the time.
Okay.
Yes. How to overcome this? Donate silver to a deity of the opposite sex. Like?
What?
For example, if you're a man, you donate silver to the Divine Mother.
For
If you're a woman, you donate silver to Vishnu.
If we have
Venus.
Now I'll tell you what to donate. In case of Mars and Sun, you donate a silver eye. Silver is good.
Why silver?
Silver eye. I know.
It's a good metal.
so it's either if Sun and Mars are joined, or if Sun is alone, or if Mars
Hey,
is alone.
if you have Sun and Upapada, you'll have weak eyesight because you're forced to look at the spouse all the time. Look all the time like this. Just spouse. Look at me, look at me. Spouse will be running around. Look at me, look at me. Okay?
Give,
Thank God,
give silver.
really unbearable.
Do you look in the Upapada Lord who's
Poor
conjoined with?
benefics.
Yes, you can. But focus on planets joined Upapada and Rashi Drishti in Upapada.
Okay,
If
let's-
no one-
You're lucky. And see the Lord. So in case of Mars and Sun, silver eye. In case of Jupiter, silver ear. Because you're all forced to listen all the time.
Kitu, super.
Mars and Sun, silver eye. Agni.
Hmm.
What is the silver line?
You must donate a silver eye.
There is no such a thing in our country, silver line.
So you make one.
I don't understand. The
You make
shape
it.
is eye.
You make an eye of silver.
Eye shaped silver.
Yeah. You have those things for removing evil eye. Sometimes they're made of silver, right?
I didn't.
Okay. You
yes.
can donate that to the Devata.
No.
Devata.
No, I.
The eye. You make an eye of silver. How do you make an eye of silver? You draw an eye. Then you make it in silver. Then you take that off to the god.
For example, in our house, in altar, you mean? Or
You give that to, in your case, Vishnu. Because you're a lady,
yes.
so you give that to Vishnu. If you're a man, you give it to Devi.
But put the eye to somewhere place in, you mean?
You give it to the Devata in the in the altar.
In the altar.
Yes, in the prayer place you give it there. Yes. You donate it, you give it. Every morning you take the silver, you say, please accept this. Please accept this eye. Because you were asked to give it all the time, right? So do it every morning, give it every morning. Okay?
And for Jupiter, you say silver?
Ear. For listening.
Hmm.
Diego must do that.
Чего запиши ear.
Then he'll be able to hear longer. Otherwise his hearing can get difficult with time.
Always silver.
Always silver.
Others?
Gauna pada. Mercury, a ring for the nose. Nose ring. Like ladies wear rings in the nose,
Mhm.
you can give that to the Devata. Make one of silver and give it to the Devata. Don't wear it, just give it to the Devata.
Or a ring in general.
No, ring for the nose. Specifically nose ring.
This is
Go
mercury.
to a jeweler, find one, donate.
Mercury.
This is
Mercury.
for smell?
Yes.
Everything.
Yes, Prithvi.
Prithvi Tattva, Mercury, smell.
Rahu.
Rahu and Shani, Vayu Tattva. You can give a bracelet for the hand.
Hmm.
Because Vayu Tattva is all about touch. So it's the hands. So a bracelet for the hand. Venus and Moon, taste, silver tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Silver.
silver
How
tongue.
about,
What's tongue?
tongue?
Tongue. Silver tongue. Tongue made of silver.
Yes.
How can we
How
find
about
this?
You
one
got
of
be a
those decorations?
spoon or something. Silver spoon.
I don't know. Maybe. It's a good idea. You should try that.
Yes, silver spoon is a good idea.
You should try that. It's not a bad idea.
There are jewelries for tongue. Yeah,
Oh, no. You don't want the Devata to pierce their tongue.
Okay. But they wear it on the nose. I mean,
Nose is acceptable, not
how
tongue.
about earring for guru?
Earring for Guru. Okay, you can. Why not? Okay.
What would you say if there is a combination, like do all three, or like Sun Rahu, Mercury?
So you have three things to donate, right?
What about
Okay, to
Ketu?
combine all the.
But take the one who's afflicted. That's the one who's the problem.
Ketu?
Ketu will not ask anything from you.
Without.
Okay. So now you also know whichever grahas associate with the upapada, you can lose those senses with time. So Maya is going to have to be busy with all the offerings. Okay.
My eyesight, I have a problem.
Yes.
My eyesight.
Yes.
Nowadays.
Is that because of upapada?
Mercury.
Mercury is not eyesight. Sun and Mars is eyesight. So that's not the reason.
Mm.
Is Mercury joint Sun?
Yes. So then we are looking also the Upapada's Lord who is joining it.
We normally don't unless the upapada is completely unaspected, unjoined. Then we can see the Lord. Okay. But in case of Arudas, they are first and foremost affected by signs joining and signs aspecting. Only in third place comes the Lord. The houses work slightly differently, the opposite actually. First signs joined, then the Lord, then aspects. Swadharayo,
Svadharayo,
Shukrachandrayor,
Shukrachandrayo,
Atodyam,
Todyam,
Rajachinhani cha.
Rachihanicha.
Venus and Moon, either jointly or independently aspecting or joining the first or the fourth house, give various luxuries and paraphernalia, generally attendant upon royalty. So, this should associate with first or fourth house. On top of that, Venus should associate with first and fourth house. On top of that, Moon should also join or aspect the first or fourth house. This may occur from Lagna, Aruda Lagna, and Atmakaraka. If it happens in Rashi, it gives great comforts like a king. If it happens in Navamsha, also it can indicate great comforts like a king. If it happens in Dashamsha, it means you are directly working under the king. Venus and Moon indicate bureaucrats who work under the king. If you have it in Rashi, Navamsha and Dashamsha, you're a very powerful ruler. We've focused a lot on this Venus Moon Yoga during this course, right? We have like 4 times it's been mentioned. It's a really powerful yoga. Raja Chinhani means symbol of the king. Symbol of the king is associated with you. Symbol of wealth is also associated with you. Good. All right. We've done some examples in the past. So, now we'll take a break. That was Bandhana Yoga. Ending on a nice royal note.
Only Venus and Moon, or only
Pause it or stop it?